Moin! I'm Catherine and today I'm in bed with my favorite books from February. If you want to know who I am, what I usually do, how these wrap-ups work, watch my first wrap-up video, but you can totally follow this video without that. In February I've read and listened to 13 books and basically just one really stood out, which is The Girl with All the Gifts by Carey. And Jon Ajvide Lindqvist, who's the author of Let the Right One In, one of my all-time favorite books, this is the Swedish version, says, takes hold of you and doesn't let go. And I couldn't agree more. I don't want to give you any more details because that would totally spoil the surprise, but it's basically about humanity or the lack of humanity. It's a super thrilling and also heartbreaking read. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, it's fantastic. I've also listened to Winter in February, the last part of the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer, and as I said, only one book really stood out because I didn't love Winter as much as the rest of the series. It felt a little dragged out to me and I could have done with much less of the action, but I still want to use the opportunity to plug the whole series, which is super fun and refreshingly geeky, and I really loved listening to it. The first novel in the series is Cinder, which is a modern version of Cinderella that's set in a future Beijing after the Third World War, and there's a whole new world order. There's also a colony on the moon, hence the Lunar Chronicles. What amazed me the most is that Meyer obviously had so much fun herself with all the geek stuff in the novels. Cinder, for example, is a cyborg, and at the ball with the prince she doesn't lose her shoe, but she loses her mismatched cyber foot, which is a really cool image. Cinder's best friend is an android called Aiko, who has a fetish for nice clothes, is a super funny character, and they have so much nice dialogue in the novels, and it's so funny to follow their banter. The second book introduces Scarlet, who is based on Little Red Riding Hood, and the third novel, Crest, loosely based on Rapunzel, and the last one, Winter, based on Snow White. I can wholeheartedly recommend the whole series, although I didn't love Winter that much. But to be fair, I've binge listened to the first 3 books before Winter came out, and it's possible that the novelty had gone a little bit after the long wait, and it just felt a little bit disconnected. When I ordered these as print copies, I actually had a little personal crisis because Cinder was temporarily not available, and I was so afraid that it had been reprinted and they had changed the cover so the whole series wouldn't have matched anymore in my bookshelf. Although in this case I wouldn't have had to be totally devastated because my friends from Carlsen Verlag gave me these beautiful German editions, and I think my bookshelf is in for a super treat now. I have 2 points of criticism though, the main point being that these novels are frighteningly heteronormative. Homosexuality doesn't seem to exist in the world of the Lunar Chronicles. The other point is more an observation than a critique, because to me it seemed that Meyer wasn't that much into the love stories herself. I think she more or less wrote them as an obligatory task, because I mean you have to have a love story in such a fantasy, young adult series, but actually that didn't bother me that much. I would love to know if you recently read something where you felt the love story was more a task for the author than that their heart was really into it. Leave a comment, let me know. That's my February wrap up, and don't forget, support your local book dealer.
And give me another time to fight, another chance.